You changed the shape a bit on Saturday, and you got a point out of it. So did the means justify the outcome?
Well, you'd rather win the game, wouldn't you? But as I said to you people before the game, you know, we're all great experts in hindsight, of course, after we know the result. And you know, I look at sort of people's opinions sometimes and things like that, and some would say that I don't know what I'm doing, and some would say, you know, I've lost the plot and things like that. But a lot of discussion and a lot of thinking and a lot of work goes into what we do on the day and why. And sometimes you pick a team and then have to pick the shape that suits them, and sometimes you have to pick a shape and then pick a team that suits that. What people forget is there's an opposition that are going to try and stop you doing what you do, and you have to respect that sometimes. And sometimes the opposition does well in that sense. At the end of the day, at the end of 46 games, you are where you are, and that's the time then to start, you know, looking back and where did we make the mistakes, etc. What might we have done? Was we good enough in the end? You'll know by if you're relegated, no. If you're staying in division, yes. As far as staying in the second division, so there's a lot of things go on, and we do a lot more work than just, you know, throw a few names and shapes up in the air and see what happens when they hit the floor. You know, it's and sometimes you're going to have to, you know, when you've got a shape and it's working well and it's getting you results, you keep going with that. To answer your question, the draw in the end was a decent draw, given that you know, Crewe on the day, that was probably the best they'd played for a little while. They tried to get us under pressure pretty early and quickly, as we were trying to do then, but they won that. But at the same time, our boys worked hard. Our shape, you know, yes, they had shots, a couple of chances that Brownie had to save, a couple of long shots that, you know, was comfortable saves, but he saved them. And then we had the two great chances at the end. Really, they were our best chances. Diego also in the first half. So, you know, I'd rather have won the game, but at the end of the day, we ended up drawing, coming away, and if we can, you know, get a couple of 2 or 3 results in the next few games, then that would have been a good point.
Between a Saturday away game and a Tuesday away game, what do you concentrate on?
Well, depending again how the result went, but you tend to concentrate on who's affected the game, and do they, you know, should you play them again? Which people might not have Tuesday, Saturday in them for whatever reason, and that's really what we just concentrate on the next game. And I've spent all weekend, you know, looking at Luton's games and seeing what they do and why they're going well. We know they're pretty formidable as far as what the season's, how it's gone so far. So we have to be, you know, right up for it, and we got to put in that work rate again, same work rate, but we've got to be more influential in the game. Whoever we play, we've got to create more shots, more free kicks, more corners. We've got to create all that, and sometimes it's, you know, you've got to go gun-ho a little bit, and sometimes you have to be, you know, get numbers behind the ball, and it's however the game's going, whatever the opposition sometimes does, you have to react to. But you've got to have your game plan, and we'll have our game plan, and hopefully it'll come off for us.
We had some texters on Saturday saying you've retained Harry Pell, you've signed Carl Winchester. Is that your long-term midfield hub? I thought that was a great question.
Well, you can't say. Why was it a great question? You can't really say that, can you? We've signed them, brilliant. We've got Holman signed on as well. We've got Will Boyle who signed on. So, you know, we've got four of them that we know are the future. Now we've got to start adding to that with a thought on the future, if we can. Meanwhile, we're looking to keep improving our squad all the time anyway. So you can't say, just because those two are here, they'll be your 2 midfielders. Because, you know, if they're not performing, then they won't play. If they are performing, and we've signed them because we believe they will perform, then of course they'll be in the team. And sometimes there'll be a 2 in midfield, sometimes it'll be a 3. and of course sometimes it's a 4, of course. So
Do you think their skills dovetail, those two?
I think they do. You know, one's well, dovetail. It's got a dovetail anyway. Whoever you play there, whether it's a 2 or whether it's a 3. So you know, it's a fair sort of question. I don't know if it's a brilliant question because you know, like it's the manager will pick pairings as we go along as to who you think's doing well and who it suits the way you're going to play. So, but they're certainly the future of our team, that's for sure. But it'd be not very nice for the other ones to say, yeah, they're our 2 for the next 2 years, you know, because the others won't feel that they're competition to them. So we've got to make sure that there's competition, and if they do the job, they'll play. If they don't, then hopefully we've got good enough players in the squad to take the place.
You mentioned Luton's form. Did Nathan Jones look managerial material when you had him at Yeovil?
Yeah, he did. He only left really because we had. Obviously, I took over as a manager, and then Terry Skiverton was the manager, so he became my number 2. Darren Way was doing all the IT stuff, so obviously we were sort of very close. Nathan was there, but he was injured because he was a player coach, and because he was injured, he wasn't able. We needed to get him fit, as opposed to give him enough coaching sessions as a coach for his liking. And you could see that he was frustrated that he wasn't getting enough time coaching, but that did coincide with his injury. But you could see that he was going to be ambitious enough to want to go and be a manager. You know, that's what he wanted to be, and he was a bit frustrated that he wasn't getting closer to that, really. And of course, he's proved exactly what was in his head, that he's a good coach, good manager. He's very passionate, and he's another one that you know you can look at and go, well, you know, I'm pleased to have had a little bit of a part in his sort of managerial role, because I'm sure he's picked up some things over the years, and obviously with his last, it was me that signed him at Yeovil actually, and he was a good player, and because he was a good player, we didn't want him yet to start getting his mind on coaching just then, but his injury probably took him down that route a little bit more.
We're up to 4th. They've had a run of games against teams in the top half. I think only Pompey have beaten them, and they've also taken Gambin from Barnet, who you saw on Boxing Day, and he looked quite dangerous that day, didn't he?
Yeah, they've got some dangerous players. They've got a big squad as well. You know, they've gone for it this year. You can see some teams where they've gone for it and they felt, right, this is the year that we'll play our finances into it, we'll get a big squad, we'll get the best players available, we'll try and find first division players, because that's what those clubs do, if you can afford it. And on this occasion they've gone for it, and they've got a team that should be there or thereabouts, and are there or thereabouts, but they'll be disappointed if they're not automatic promotion at the end of the season.
But you can never tell, can you? The pattern of results, you think you'll get points in certain games and you don't, and you'll think maybe that you're up against it in certain games and you can pull results out of the bag.
Well, the thing is that every team in the league can win football matches at this level. And some of the young lads that come on loan to all these clubs, I think sometimes think it's going to be easy, when really there's quite a lot of quality in the second division, and teams work hard. They've got their set plays, they're organised, they've got their maverick type players or marquee players that can go and win a game. So you know, no game's a foregone conclusion, as we've seen all year. I think even Luton, I think we've lost 5 or 6 games at home. And you wouldn't expect that from a team that's put together like that.
Last word about Pell. You made it public on Saturday that Aaron Downs' balance over the remainder of the season may be coaching and playing, but maybe more towards coaching. Pell, obviously, you have given the captain's armband to. Is that a responsibility that you think he will thrive on?
Yeah, I do. I think it is. I think he's still got to maintain form himself as an individual, because as a captain you have to lead by example as well as lead by leadership as in name the captain. So, but he's very passionate about moving the club forward and ambitious for the club. That's why he signed for us. And so, we'll keep an eye on how the captain's armband is respected on him by all the others. But he'll have to earn that, and over the next few weeks, hopefully he will.
This is the last one. Can you do a deal from a standing...
Last one.
Yeah, last one. Can you do a deal from a standing start between Monday and 11 o'clock Tuesday? Either way.
Can you do what?
A deal for a player from a standing start between Monday at 10 o'clock and Tuesday at 11 o'clock?
Yeah, of course you can. You could get that odd and wingy situation where he just turns up on your doorstep and you go, oh, all right then. How much? No, see you later, get back on the bus, sort of thing. But there are situations where that of course can happen, and it will. Your only problem with that, of course, that everybody leaves things sometimes to the last minute, and you may not get the registration in time through the FA because they'll be dealing with a lot of big boys, and whether they think about us little minnows as much, I don't know. But you've got to be careful when you leave it too late that it doesn't go through at the FA.
Nothing for you though.
Pardon?
Nothing for you?
What do you mean nothing?
Well, on Saturday I think you said you'd be surprised if there was anything, but it's not impossible.
No, it's not impossible. It's not impossible. But at this moment in time, you just have to wait and see what turns up.
Thank you.
No problem.
Very last one from me.
Last one?
Yeah, last one from me. On Saturday, you had everybody fit, didn't you? I think everybody in the squad for the first time this season was available. Asa back, Van Holman back.
Yeah.
Is it now, because early in the season you had players that you probably sort of saw that they weren't going to be staying around.
Yeah.
But everybody is sort of a first team player now, aren't they? So have you got more problems now than you've had at any other point this season in terms of selection?
Yeah, I don't know if it's a problem. It's obviously a problem for the boys that you can't select sometimes, and you try and keep them all happy, but in the current regime of the loans and all that, you've got to have numbers. You've got to make sure that you've got enough numbers to see the most important part of the season out. And that's what we've tried to do, and God bless the board, they've given me the opportunity to bring in numbers. And I'm hoping that not just the numbers, but the quality of those numbers will at least keep us in this division, and I'm pretty confident that will happen.